Hello to all of my BPTV fans, YouTube fans, and new fans, and potential fans of my great guest I have. I'm Alan Levine, The Talking Machine. This is my 27th The Talking Machine show. I'm honored to be doing it for BPTV. Thank you all for your great feedback and comments, and even saying to me, a couple of you, where do I get all these great guests? And they go, I know you know lots of people, but your guests have been great. So I'm going to let my new great guest introduce himself right now.
I'm Vinny Borelli. Vincenzo Borelli is my full name.
We'll take that.
We'll take that, thank you. I'm author of Personal Prosperity Blueprint.
Hold that up while you're doing it.
Yeah, motivational speaker, consultant, and really like life coach right now. I've been helping a lot of people, get through a lot of things and hope to inspire more people. And I'm honored to be here, Al. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And I grew up with all Italians in Greentree. Floriolis, Piccininis, DeMeo, Strategos, Russos, you name it. Floriolis, all of them. So they used to call me Levini when I was playing baseball and pitching because of my
you
vowel.
Italian.
Yes. Just thought I'd share that. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in Bloomfield, Pittsburgh's Little Italy.
I understand. That's why I segued into this.
Very neighbors to Greenfield, obviously, there.
Yeah. The same Goombas were all there.
That's right.
No, that's pretty cool. Where'd you go to school then?
So grade school, Immaculate Conception, which
Okay.
is, I believe they're going to be closing now.
Aren't
And then,
they all?
Yeah,
They're
it's
all.
sad.
It's the same.
And I went to North Catholic across the river, which a lot of my friends went to Central Catholic, but that was my
And
high
the
school.
Roonies went there too.
That's right. That's
See,
right.
I know a little history here.
Yeah, and then I went to Robert Morris College to get my
Oh,
bachelor's.
okay. And did you play any sports growing up?
I did. We had to play everything. I sucked at a lot of them, but baseball, football, basketball.
Yeah, but did it matter? We tried and had fun.
That's right.
And it was part of being the neighborhood.
That's right. And then I just went into martial arts at 13 and stayed into
Why?
that.
Why did you go to martial
I
arts?
got bullied when I was a kid, and so my parents put me in martial arts, and I
Well, I
stayed
got
with
some
it.
height on you, but I have 3 sisters that are 5 foot tall. So I understand your dilemma.
I'm 5'8". Yeah, it was hard.
My dad said he was 5'10", and I found his military card like when he was in his last years of his life. And I said, Dad, you lied to me the whole life. He said he was 5'10".
Right.
I go, your military card said 5'7". You'd love my dad. He goes, I'm shrinking.
Yeah, right.
I go, that was then.
That's funny.
No.
All Italians shrink. It seems like we
Whoa.
all get shorter.
Hey, old age does that. It's the toughest battle you got. So,
Right.
you just want to get through it and do your best. Now, what did you study in high school? Or did you play any high school sports, or you got the martial arts?
Yeah,
Where
stuck
did
with
you
martial
go?
arts.
Can you mention a school that you
Oh,
went
sure. I
to?
started with CS Kim, basic Taekwondo. Then I went into a little bit of Muay Thai, Power Kick Academy. I studied at Exercise Warehouse in Bloomfield. Mark Mackey upstairs there.
Guess
studied.
what? Mention my name to him.
Really?
He
Good
loves
friend.
me.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's a great guy. I can see why.
I love him. He's a fantastic guy. Great gym, old school type of gym with the mirrors and the weights.
Yep. And I'm actually going to hopefully go down there and do some, work with some of the people that are having problems down there.
Step by step, they all need help.
That's right. Absolutely. But then I studied martial arts. In high school, I played hockey primarily.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And then I broke my ankle. I wanted to play in college, but I never was the same. So not quite good enough after that.
Injuries do that. They're the great equalizer, and they teach you to maneuver to other things.
That's right. Yeah. So
Definitely.
stuck with martial arts. Became a full contact kickboxer. Won a heavyweight championship back in the '90s.
I'll get on.
Yeah, it was all pre-UFC stuff. So then stopped. And then focused on school.
Well,
and
talking
doing
about
different things.
UFC, I had the first Pittsburgher UFC fighter, Chris
really?
Dempsey, on my show.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've had Muay Thai people on this. Jamie Chesney was a Muay Thai lady that started at 18 years old because she was bullied.
Yeah.
And she's a North Side girl, so they're all tough.
Yeah, that's
Definitely, and nice to hear you're friends with Mike Manna. He's been on the show, had a great show here.
That's awesome. Yeah, we just went back and forth. I'm going to do some work at his gym to help promote his gym because I believe in everything he's doing. It's great.
How can you not?
Right.
Anybody that turns pro and donates their purses to Children's Hospital must be doing something right,
Absolutely.
driven by God.
That's
So
right.
That's for sure. Now, what kind of education did you get at Robert Morris? What were you thinking at this time?
Sure. So through college, I was determined to be a certified financial planner. So I got a bachelor degree in finance and then got Series 663 life accident health insurance licenses. And then I was studying for my CFP, but I just hated what I was doing. I was sitting behind a desk in a room, not talking to people.
Well, you're a people person.
Yeah.
And I was laid off in 1987, sold insurance for Prudential, and I like to help people. So they said, if you want to sell variable mutual funds and variable policies. I had to get a Series 6.
Right.
And I've always been interested in financial things. But I was always asked, would you want to do that? And I go, no.
Right. Yeah.
So never
Gotta have
wanted
that
to. So
personality.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And it's a little different take on just life in general.
Yeah. You have to have a certain personality to do that, and I just wasn't me. I realized that quick.
Right. You don't mind the numbers, but doing it all day.
Right.
That's the thing. And then the issues people have and what they don't understand. You can only educate people so far.
Right. Absolutely.
And then look at the rumors they hear on this person's doing that, and most of it's not true.
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff behind that.
so then what'd you do next?
So then after that, I went straight into medical sales. Been in medical sales for, God, almost 30 years now.
You're kidding.
Yep, that's
You
what
don't even look that old.
Yeah.
You must have been 12.
Thanks. Yeah, I started when I was 12. Yeah, for the listeners, I started when I was 12.
You were advanced.
Yes, yeah, very advanced. So yeah, I just stayed in that that field, that space, and then I wanted to do something different. You know, then the book tells the story. I wanted to do something different and help
Right.
start inspiring people and doing something that's significant.
No, I understand. And how did you get to the point about the book?
So I start writing.
Who were you dealing with, or certain people were guiding you? Because I've had many offers in the area that Darieth Chisholm, this Becky Auer,
Oh, right.
they mentor people and tell them the things to do to get to a book, to help promote that and promote your business and your
Right.
speaking. And I know people that are speakers that have written numerous books helping others.
Yeah,
So you're on that path, brother.
on the path, I'm getting there, and you know, I hope to get there. You know, more predominantly in this market, at least starting in Pittsburgh, because you know, hometown. I want to be an inspiration here for my story. But I started when I was 13. I lost my sister. She was 18.
I remember in the story, just
Yeah.
horrific.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And you have such great parents, too.
I do, and they're both still alive. My father's 88, my mom's 76, and my father's straight from Italy. So when we lost my sister, who was my only sibling, that was the foundation for this. The pain I was going to start writing stuff down.
And just to deal with that.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. I hope no one
Sure.
has to go through it, but we all take for granted, and that's part of it. A lot of people don't realize. I always say, look to the person next to you, and if you can't ever talk to them again, I don't care if it's a mother, brother, sister, father, whatever it is, or even just one of your friends. Some people, it's their dog that they have that connection with. You know, don't take that for granted. But so that's what started, and I started writing things down, and then people saw, I start showing people, and they're like, you have a story here. I just didn't think I could expand it into a book.
You didn't know how.
Right, I didn't know how.
Yeah.
And I met Corey Walmsley, Linda Jo Thornburg, and Brian Thornburg
Okay.
at Higher Images.
Oh, okay.
And they said, you should do something with this. So I got coached by Corey Walmsley to make it into 30,000 words. I had like 2,000. I said, there's no way I could do this. And that's why I took the challenge, because anything that like stretches you, I'll take.
Sure.
Took me out of my
Well,
comfort zone.
look at being in martial arts.
Absolutely.
If they're telling you what to do and then somebody's hitting you,
Right.
my dad used to always say, what do you do next?
Right.
Because I was pitching and I played center at high school and football, and you go through things, and like today, if you yell at a kid, like coaches would tell us, you missed that block, you better do better next time, or they'd swear or whatever else. But guess what? I was inspired by that. I didn't let it and sulk about it. I went and did better and became a better player.
Different world today.
Yeah, no, it is. So that's hence my point. We need people like you. And like you say, we all grieve differently. My mother, I lost her due to complications of Alzheimer's. When she was 55 years old, she died. She was sick for 6 years.
Wow.
And I was only 32 at the time.
Jeez, sorry.
Nicest person I've met ever. Nobody's even close. She raised 4 kids in 5 years, so I know what that heartbreak is.
Yeah, it's tough.
I can't grieve like you, but I respect that.
Right, thank you. Yeah, it's tough.
And now you got Corey and these others helping you.
Yeah, so now, you know, this is the book I wanted to, you know, put my name out there and try to help people and, you know, coach high school, college kids, because we didn't have guidance. You know, growing up in Little Italy, it was, my father thought I was an idiot for going to college. You know, if I didn't come home with concrete and mud on
If
me.
you weren't working with your hands,
Physically, yes,
getting
with these,
dirty
yeah,
and
right.
coming home tired,
Right.
there's something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
How do I know that? Growing up, I did.
Yeah, so I chose to, you know, take a different path, and so this is my first book to get out there and help. And again, I want to be in front of colleges. I'm starting to join a lot of these chambers of commerce.
Sure.
They had me as a guest at a couple events. You know, I was at the Rivers Club as a guest speaker just last week, and I have a few other events coming up soon.
No, that's a great thing. I've done shows with Jessica Lee, a jazz singer at the Rivers Club for
Right.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
We would network, and she'd highlight a nonprofit there. This is years ago, you know, before COVID, and just things like that. So
Yeah, so that's exactly what I want to do. I want to start, you know, helping people find their passion, their true desires. You know, I talk to so many even childhood friends that I don't charge to talk to them, and they
Right.
just can't find out what they really want to do in their lives. And so I hope to help people find that meaning and that passion and just go for it.
Well, there's so many tough things. Life gets in the way of it: sickness, illness, death,
Right.
their own health problems, diet problems, whatever else. All these things add up.
Absolutely.
And it's you need somebody sometimes to do it. I'm a self-starter, so
Yeah.
I don't
We're a
need
different
you.
breed.
I don't need you.
Different
I'll
breed.
just share that.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
here to help you, though. And my fans out there, I hope you're enjoying what Vinny's talking about and the tough battle he had losing a sister at 13 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself, you love family.
Yeah, and
When
that's my goal, Al. Thank you for saying that to the fans. That I really want people to call me. It's confidential, right? I want to help you get through the grieving process. I started a company, Your Final Ride. That's a
Wow.
motorcycle It's a Harley Davidson hearse.
Yeah.
Where I not only can help the burial service by transporting the body, but I was an ordained minister a
Oh,
couple months ago.
congrats. Yeah.
I became an ordained minister, and people are like, "Why did you do that? You're Catholic. You want to do weddings and stuff." And I said, "No, primarily I can, but primarily to help people through the grieving process, because my parents they went through hell and back. I started going down the path of drugs. I could have went to prison. I could have got killed.
Sure.
Growing up in Bloomfield, a lot of my friends did in fact end up in prison or killing themselves or whatever.
Hey, we all have things like that happen.
Right, and so I want to help people get through that grieving process and stay positive, even though it's difficult to do that when you lose someone. So that's my goal.
Yeah. No, that's great things you're trying to do, and you're starting out. You're looking up for what you can do to help others, and if you're helping friends, just think that builds your resume right here.
It does.
So now you can talk to others that go through it,
Yep.
and give them that help that they need, and maybe that little support. Look at how people feel all alone right now.
That's true.
With what we went through for the last couple of years. And look
Social media is not helping it at all.
how did Twitter become the source of everything that's correct? That's a lie.
Yeah.
So I mean, I read books,
Yeah, me too.
and that's how I know things are true. I read the good side, the bad side, sometimes 4 or 5 books on a subject.
Right.
Like now I got friends that want to be generals and tell us how to win a war. I read about Alexander the Great, who was undefeated and died undefeated and conquered the world at the time.
Right.
I go, if you want to talk about some of his battles, I'll talk about it. He was undefeated leading his troops.
Yeah, it's
so let's
amazing.
go from there.
It's amazing.
Just common sense things is what I look like, bringing to people. And that looks like what you're trying to do and get to the essence of what the problem is.
I am, and I really, I hate to. It's not that I bash social media, but it's so frustrating and annoying that people live their life through that.
Right.
People boast about what their life is. It's so great, and then they post it. What they eat, and they feel like they have a great meal and they've made it. They're there. They're prosperous. They went on vacation to Florida or Aruba, whatever, and now you're prosperous.
I've been there to both those places. And I do a cooking show, The Speedy Gourmet,
Do you really?
to inspire others.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
You do a lot of things. You do.
I
Pretty
do.
Dynamic. I love it.
When I was reading your book, I was checking off everything plus.
Right.
I can add to that.
Yeah, we'll have to write a book together.
Well, they told me I need to write maybe 3 or 4 books.
You should.
So
You should. And that's a lot of people approach me. I just did the Pittsburgh Chamber of Commerce, the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
yeah, I'm familiar with them. I met the guy that runs it.
There's a Juan who I met, and
Somebody
God, I met
else.
so many people down there.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
yeah. I met him a few years ago, actually, at the
Really?
Rivers Club. We
Oh,
became
really?
friends.
Yeah, cool.
He told me something to make with cabbage for like a side dish, and he wrote it down for me. I made it
So
and told him it
something
was
different,
great
yeah.
because I'll try stuff.
That culture has great food. I mean, we have great food too in Italian culture, but they have great food.
Well, I do Mediterranean type meals with fish. So they're
cool.
all veggies, virgin olive oil, and stuff
nice,
like that.
nice.
Enough about me. They know about me. I'm telling you.
Notice a lot of people down there asked, Vinny, I have these thoughts. I want to write a book. Can you help me do that? I said, well, I certainly can't do that, but I could guide you to the people that can.
Right.
You can go see the
Well,
the specialists.
networking helps you to help
Yep.
everybody.
Yep.
And to me, it takes many people to get you and I where we are
Right.
along the path.
Right, and that's what I want to do. I want to help. Like, people don't. Everyone sees the overnight success. They see the Sidney Crosby, right? They see him today, and a lot of people used to talk about LeBron James and where
Yeah.
he, they see the special the talent, but they mastered their craft. No one sees behind the scenes. So the people that do know me, and a lot of you don't,
Yeah.
they don't know what I've been through and what
You're learning now.
You're learning now, yeah. Pay attention. So watch this. I grew up in this, in basically poverty. We didn't think we were poor. We had a black and white TV, till I was, I think, 18. My father and mother were doing everything they could to keep my sister alive. My father was in construction.
Sure.
My mother was like in the medical
No,
field.
it's a great story in the book.
Oh yeah, so if you read
Get
the book, get the book, please. Go to VinnyBrelli.com, get the book. So it's on Amazon. I got Amazon bestseller. So
Good.
that I didn't even know about.
Congratulations. Yeah,
thank
that
you.
is great.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know what the hell.
You
it
want to
meant.
give a phone number out?
Sure. My direct
Just
cell
say-
phone
yeah.
is 716-392-0101. You can leave me a message. That's my personal cell phone.
I'm getting old, so repeat it.
Sure. 716-392-0101. You could call me or email me. Yeah.
Vinny for help.
That's right. I should change it. I should get that. 1-800-VINNY for help. But yeah, so that's
I'm quick
really,
like that, so
but
you
are,
got
you're
it.
good.
You can steal it. No charge.
No
NC,
charge on that.
baby. NC.
NC. That's all I want to do. I really want to.
No, I can
truly
see
help
you're
people.
passionate about it.
Yeah, I really do. And more people. The thing is, ego gets in the way, and fear gets in the way. What's
Fear
Vinny
is
gonna
one of the
think?
worst problems
It
to
is.
overcome.
It is. And I just talked about that. On Sundays, I do Significant Sunday at 7 o'clock at night live on Facebook. Mondays, I do Make It Happen Monday. And now, really, it's a lot of my friends are like, I can't believe you're being that authentic and genuine. Well, I don't have anything to hide. I have no crumbs to hide. I'm proud of what I did.
Yeah.
And when I was a bad and nasty person, and I'm proud of who I am today. That made me. That was the foundation.
I talk about I've learned more things from a defeat, but I learn from everything I do.
Right.
And that's how life should be.
That's right.
You shouldn't just segment, okay, I did great on this. I don't need to worry about that. Well, you're treating people terrible.
That's right.
How about step up?
I agree with you 100%. And see, that's the thing. People are afraid to fail, but if you haven't failed at a couple of things, then you haven't done anything challenging. You can't succeed at everything. The road to success is painful. It's a windy road, up and down, peaks and valleys. It's very hard to get there, but you have to stay focused to get there.
Well, I just look around and read biographies about great people. Okay. Some of them came from poor families. Some of them didn't have parents.
Right.
Other things like that. And look, they created some of the biggest companies in the world.
That's right.
And overcame defeat.
Correct.
Look at Steve Jobs, got thrown out of his own company. Now it's $1 trillion company.
That's right.
There you go to think of it. Let Vinny help you.
I don't know if I can get you there, but I can get you close. I can get you on the right path.
Well, if you get them to take the first step,
Yeah.
that's what I tell people. It's the hardest thing, that first step, and then follow through.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what, again, that's like you said, the fear of failure, of change. People are afraid to take that first step, but you have to.
And change is a key thing. Like me, I never minded change, like from jobs and things would change. I worked a production job at the Pittsburgh Press and Post-Gazette for 36 years. Wow. You think I saw when newspapers were popular to when they sucked and were out of business?
Yeah.
I took a buyout and started this.
Right.
So I didn't give up. I was 54 years old when I left the Post-Gazette.
Really? Wow.
And I've started this when I was 55 years old. It's my 11th year doing this show.
That's amazing.
And my series of shows that I do here.
I applaud you. That's awesome.
No, thank you. And
You
I'm
got
doing that.
Resilience there.
Well, I want to inspire other people. And you're on the same team that I am. So
love it.
I respect that.
Yeah, guys like Mike Mann, that's why we connected. I reached out to him and said, look, I like what you're saying. There's not a lot of people that think that way.
And he practices it.
Right. Right.
That's
like
the
my
key
mother's
thing.
all the time. It's always negative. Like I said, what if you won? I think the Powerball was. I just said this on. I was on Fishing Without Bait. There was like 600 million. I forget when it was. A couple years ago. I said, Mom, what would you do if you won that kind of money? She goes, well, I'd pay my house off. I'm like, wow. She goes, well, there's taxes though you have to pay. I'm like, are you well? Like, have you 600 million? You're almost $1 billion. So there's always something negative. And so growing up in that, if I got a good job, she was like, well, you have to be careful you don't lose the job. I just got it. You got a nice car. I'll be careful someone doesn't hit your car. So there's always that negativity we were brought up with. And again, like you have to pivot and be, just persevere, be persistent.
Here, what I can tell, I call people like us stubborn.
Yeah.
Because we want to do it our way
Right.
and learn. And I used to always look at other neighbors that had different jobs and things like that and wanted to do different things. And I always had side businesses, did sales and other things over the years because I do have the gift of gab.
Yeah.
But I put facts out there, like when you're selling medical supplies and devices or whatever, you have to know the product.
Right.
Because the people you're dealing with don't just have you there, they have others.
That's right.
Why should I buy your product? And you have to convince them.
Right.
And if you've been doing it for 30 years, you must have had a little bit of success.
Yeah, my approach isn't the salesman thing. What I do is, again, it's genuine and authentic.
You're
I'll
building
ask-
relationships.
Yep, I build relationships on not that, I always tell a lot of my friends that are asking about sales, like you see the picture there, oh wow, you must like the city of Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, no crap, it's right there. You see pictures on the wall, your son plays
And
football, that's not a good foundation.
Since we're talking a picture,
I love that picture, yeah,
John
that's great.
O'Praskak is a great artist in Pittsburgh. He puts Monongahela sand in every picture in the
Really?
paint.
That's amazing, I love
And
that picture.
he's done Art Rooney's NFL picture in the Hall of Fame. He did President Bush, the first Bush. He's in his library.
Wow.
And he does painting right on South Side the Slopes. He has a place all bright, colorful.
Really?
Him and his wife are great artists and
I love
friends
that,
of mine.
yeah, that's really cool.
And he had his paintings here, and there's a couple other that are here. And he has one with Three River Stadium. I put it on my Pittsburgh Sportsline show to honor him each
cool.
time. Because I'm about community and helping
Right,
others.
right, I love it, that's awesome.
Hold your book up again.
yeah,
Let's
sure.
get a shot with you in the book.
All
Look at
right.
the camera.
Yeah, go get it. Personal Prosperity Blueprint. In here, I created 4 pillars, which you're probably aware of. You read it.
I read it.
That I created. You got to check out. It's really, it's something that'll help everyone at any stage in your life. Personally, spiritually,
It can help
financially,
you move forward from whatever you're suffering from.
from being complacent to wherever you're suffering from to move on.
No, that's great stuff.
thanks.
Now, do you have a family?
I do. I have my wife Nicole, who's my rock, my foundation.
Nice.
And I have a son Lorenzo.
How old is he?
He's 2.5, and I have a 16-year-old Enzo.
Okay.
He's in Canada. I didn't get real creative on the names. I'm Vincenzo, Lorenzo, and Enzo. And my mother and father.
Keep it simple's good.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Look, you can just call me Al.
You got to keep it simple. But yeah, so my wife and I, and we live out in the North Hills area.
Allison Park, you
Allison
said?
Park, yep.
Nice.
And my mother and father in Bloomfield, and that's really my immediate family. That's what I have. Her family, they live in Stanton
You don't
Heights
have
still.
any cousins or anything else around here? Or are they in Italy? Or
Not really. Yeah, they're all well. They landed in Canada, Ottawa, Canada.
That's unusual.
It is. My father was the only one out of his brothers and sisters that landed here in the United States. The rest went to Ottawa, for whatever reason back then.
No, well, my
Yes.
ex-wife's family was from Italy. I forget, around Rome or somewhere.
Okay.
Some of her family on her dad's side went to Brazil.
Oh wow.
So they'd come up, and they're all with them. Some were in Canada and other
weird.
parts of America. So
Wherever they
you
could
just
go.
get there and see what opportunity there was. Again, they had change,
Yep.
and they had to adapt.
That's right.
And that's your theme there.
It is. It's really, and I always talk in the book. I talk about the backpack. So when he had to leave Calabria, which he's
Yeah.
from in the mountains there, he had to take his essentials, right? And back then, just one briefcase. He didn't come over on the boat. He came over on a plane, but
Okay.
he still had to come with one
Yeah.
piece of luggage with everything in it. And so I say that in the book. What is your backpack in life? Like if you had to pick
Right.
up everything, what would be there? Who would be in that backpack?
No, that's a great question.
Yeah, who would the people be that you would have there for you? So, not putting them in the backpack, but what would be your essentials in life? And so they had to do that. They made it through. They went day by day, finding work, and were resilient.
And that's the key. They wanted to supply for their family, their 2 kids.
Yeah, there was no room for failure. And they always say, well, your dad may have failed. He would come home from construction, doing cement, and go do landscaping. So
Right.
there was no room for failure, or even thoughts of failure. And I always go back to like children. They dream and dream and dream. So what do you care about failure? Try it. If you fail, then go to the next thing.
Yeah.
You'll never know if you can succeed if you don't try and fail.
No, that's so great. And look at what you dealt with negativity. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
Because a lot of parents don't realize the negativity. Like, look with girls. They'd be like, you can't do this or you can't do that. And when I raised my daughter, we had a big wall along our driveway. And I had her walking it at 2 and 3 years old. My ex-wife and her mother are yelling, what are you doing? I go, when I'm not here, what are you going to do when they're playing on the wall? And I had a little son, did the same thing. He was a little more rambunctious, but that helped them.
Right.
And if they got hurt on a bike or running or whatever, just say, hey, go back and do it again.
How many kids do you have?
2 kids, a daughter and a son.
Cool.
Yeah, and they're both doing great, so we're
Awesome.
good.
That's good. Great.
Yeah,
Great.
no, and that's part about the family and what you can leave a legacy. I'm trying to leave a legacy for them.
Right.
And to survive and thrive in life. So
And learn. They don't make them like us anymore. That culture.
No.
They just don't do it. It's just not there.
No, and that's why I like to inspire others, and you're part of my theme.
Thank
that
you.
we can put somebody out there who's available now to do this.
Absolutely. I'd love to help as many people as I can.
And where do
again,
you see you're going, like in the next year, 5 years? You know, everybody
Sure.
has plans. They'll go the 5-year plan.
Yeah.
But what do you see in a year and then 5 years?
In a year, I'm hoping to make more of an impact here locally and then do some traveling. I don't want to do like Eric Thomas is one of the guys I follow and studied under intensely, his approach and his passion. You know, I'm a lot more energetic when I'm on stage. But in a year, I'd like to write another book. It's going to be called Growing Up in Pittsburgh's Little Italy.
Nice.
Yeah, the village of Bloomfield, I'm going to call it. So
Sure.
working on that right now, but I'd like to be in front of it. You know, I'd like to do one event a week, a powerful one, like speak at my alma mater, speak at
Sure.
North Catholic, Central, go to Pitt, Duquesne.
Well, there's these speakers groups.
Yes.
You might need to get a hold of them. One of my good friends was married to a cousin, and MJ Calloway. She's a great writer and speaker.
Here locally?
Yes, and
I'll
she
have to hook
stayed
up.
locally to do that. She's
Okay.
great. You can mention my name anywhere.
I will. Yeah,
So-
you have to hook me up with
Yeah.
with her because that's what I want to do. That's where I see myself in a year. 3 years, just even more powerful, traveling and touching as many people's lives as I can.
Well, I have another lady, since you're having me going to my files, Trina Hess,
have to write
great
them down.
comedian, and she was in the speakers group there, and they'd provide speaking engagements for you. You sign up,
great.
you might pay a fee each year,
sure.
and then they'll line stuff up.
Yeah,
Just
I'd love
trying
to
to
do
give
that.
you some help here.
Yeah, I'll have to get those names off
Yeah.
for sure because I'm going to start with these chambers of commerce and then just expand from there. I'm going to do my own Master Your Motives. It's going to be called, which you'll be invited, obviously.
Whoa, thank
coming
you.
up soon. Yeah, it'll be coming up soon here in Pittsburgh. We're going to do an event where I have a brochure that I give out, like a book, like a workbook.
Sure.
Thought-provoking stuff in there. You'll love it because it's
People that
right
can
there.
use it, yeah.
You can jot your notes in. I gave them away at the Rivers Club, where you could just think and write it down. No one has to look at it. That could be your own little thing.
Yeah.
But I want to start doing more events like that where people can come to my seminars.
No, that's good. That's part of your process. There's other different networking groups in Pittsburgh. Just check out those.
Right.
When I first got out of the Post-Gazette, I was like going to all these networking groups. But people want to sell you stuff. I wanted to build relationships and expand my newly made brand, The Talking Machine.
Right. I
So
love it.
I've done it. I got almost 7,000 likes on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
That's great.
4,700 close friends on Facebook, and some of them are watching.
That's fantastic.
So
That's
no,
great.
now in 5 years, what's the plan? Where do you think you'll be?
So 5 years, I think I will still be doing the same thing.
Well, you're Pittsburgh Central.
Yes, Pittsburgh Central, but I'd like to travel. Honestly, I'd like to be in other cities where
Where's your first destination?
I'd like to do New York because that aggressive mentality, and living in New York, I try to tell people who've never been to New York City.
Right.
That energy there, people are just going for what they want to do.
Oh, yeah.
And here, it's to get people to get motivated is a little bit more challenging, which I find really weird. So I always say to people, go to New York for a day. They don't care about what other people are doing. They're just going and making things happen.
Well,
And I love
I'm proactive and positive, from negotiating contracts to starting businesses. I had friends of mine, they go, you'd fit in New York.
Oh, yeah, perfectly.
Just with how you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I go, what do you mean? Because I'm no nonsense.
Absolutely.
They go, yeah, you would tell them off
Yeah,
if they were trying
you
to
would.
walk you around the block.
And here we don't do that. I don't know why. Look people in the eye, and people say, well, you're too intense. I'm intense because I'm passionate about what I do. I love it, like you are.
Yeah.
Like you're focused, determined. I'm deliberate every day.
Well,
when
I
get
was
up.
brought up to look people in the eye.
Right.
If they can't take it, what are they hiding?
That's right.
That's what I look at.
Wow.
That's what's in the back of my mind.
That's so accurate.
And if I tell you the truth and you're saying you don't understand, well, you got to find out more info.
Right.
So you're
People
on the
don't
right
get that.
path.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I got you in here. Thanks for
know.
coming
I
in
love it.
early.
Thank you.
We're winding it down here.
I'm honored. Thank you so much.
And thanks again. Get a hold of Vinny. You know how to reach him.
Yep.
We'll put up some stuff in the credits. And I want to end this show, the 27th Talking Machine show, on a positive
That's
note.
awesome. Thank you.
We got a guy that can help you. Ask Vinny for help. Thanks to all of you for the great feedback and watching my shows. We'll be doing the 28th Talking Machine show in 2 weeks. Stay tuned.